South Africans have spent another week tackling peak period load shedding, and Eskom has announced that stage 2 will continue between 5 and 10 p.m. on Saturday as well as Sunday. The power utility has been struggling to combat years of neglect, corruption and sabotage. Earlier this week, the company suspended 8 employees following an explosion at Medupi last year. For more on the power crisis, we're joined by Ruse Moleshe, an energy and infrastructure finance specialist. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. I do stand to be corrected, but I think if you're 5 years old, you have not lived in a country that has not experienced load shedding, which talks to the extent of the problem that we have in this country. Just how much or what will it take to turn the tide?
Good afternoon.
Hi, Jose. Can you hear us?
Yes. Okay, now I can hear you.
There we are. So how much or what is needed to actually turn the tide?
What is needed to turn the tide? There are so many things that are needed. I guess what the most important is that we really need new generation capacity, so that new generation capacity gives us the reserves to be able to do all the maintenance that we need. But that unfortunately is going to take time, because infrastructure takes time to come on board. So, but what we need is new generation capacity, because as you mentioned, all the challenges that Eskom is facing range from technical issues to financial issues, to corruption issues, human resources issues. The head of executive in generation just recently resigned, so there's quite a lot of problems they are facing.
Right. A figure of 1.5 billion rand and 2 billion rand has been bandied about just to repair damages at Medupi's Unit 4, and that's how much that could cost. And as you said, this could take a very long time in terms of stabilizing power in the country. But just where do you foresee this money will come from?
It's difficult to say, but Eskom is the shareholder is National Treasury. So I guess National Treasury will be the one that has to find a plan. Right now, Eskom is suffering from liquidity problems. There are indications that the challenges that they had with the explosion at Medupi could be related to human resource, not capabilities, but having people that are overworked and that kind of thing. We don't know. So where are they going to get the money from? I guess the only source could be National Treasury, because that's the only shareholder.
About sentiment, and maybe sentiment from the relevant authorities. We heard from the president today, just speaking outside the Imbizo in Mpumalanga, very confident that South Africa will not get to stage 8 load shedding, and that the situation, he's confident, is managed or will be managed by the relevant authorities at the helm of Eskom. Is that enough?
It's difficult to say, because some of the things seem to be within the control of Eskom. But if you hear about things like people who are maintenance contractors sabotaging infrastructure at Tutuka, you start to wonder now to what extent is everything under control. But I'm sure that they will try everything in their power to ensure that we don't go to stage 8. But things are not looking good. We have unplanned outages of almost close to 30% of the infrastructure in Eskom. That's not a good scenario.
Ruse Moleshe is an energy and infrastructure finance specialist. Thank you for availing yourself this afternoon.